Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here at the House of Swing, Jazz and Lincoln Center here in New York City. In this first edition of the Pace Report of 2026, I'm honored to profile a composer and pianist and now record mogul, Jacky Terrasson. Now, Jacky, for over the last 3 decades, has recorded some very important records on Blue Note as well as Impulse. And now that he's independent, he started his own record label, Earth Sound Records, and released his album, Moving On, which is a really beautiful CD. And it's really a hodgepodge of his originals, as well as some very contemporary, as well as jazz standards, including Solar by Miles Davis, and the contemporary Happy by Pharrell. Now here on the Pace Report, you're going to witness him and his trio tonight, backed by harmonica player Grégoire Maret. And I had a chance to sit down and break bread with Jacky. One, to reflect on him moving into an independent space by releasing this record, as well as we reflect on some of his piano, as well as musical influences, as well as talk about his transition. As you might know, for 30 years, he lived here in New York City, but he moved back to his native, Paris, France, as well as he got married. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of Mr. Jacky Terrasson playing music from his current album, Moving On, with his trio featuring the great Grégoire Maret as special guest, Joe Dyson on drums, and Lucas Curtis on bass. Here on the Pace Report, live at Dizzy's, here in New York City. moving on.
Moving on.
Congratulations, man. This
Thank
album is kind of a transition in your life.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about this.
Yeah. Moving on was it was about creating my own label, producing my own records, moving back to France after 33 to 35 years in the U.S. So a lot of moving, a lot of activity.
Marriage. There's a lot going on with this album, man.
There's the marriage. Yeah. I got married. Yeah, and pushing things to move forward.
This record is amazing in a lot of fronts. You've done some things on this album. You have some special guests. You've got the legendary Billy Hart on this album.
Billy Hart.
Tell everybody how you guys connected.
We played together in the past with Billy Hart, but it was I was playing uptown at Smoke about 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago, and Billy came to the first show of the first night. And he's like, "Hey Jacky, why didn't you call me?" And I was like, "Well, I don't even have your number, man." But he was very kind, he's a very kind man. And he said, "You should have called me." I was like, "Billy, next time, it would be great." And then I called him 2 days after, and I said, "I'd love to have you on the record." And it really happened like that. And he said, "Yeah, I'll come." And he said, "What we're gonna play?" I said, "Easy, just a standard or something like that." And he showed up, and it was great.
You also do a very beautiful rendition of Miles Davis's Solar.
Solar, yeah.
That and Happy are the standout tracks on this album.
Yeah. So Solar was I remember when we recorded this. It was the first day of the recording. And first day is always there's always a little tension, and everybody's kind of anxious about how it's going to sound and how I think it's going to go. And just to relax the atmosphere, or just to say, hey, let's just play a standard. It was first take, we kept it, and I was like, yeah, let's keep that for the record, it just happened like that because we were working on a brand new tune that's kind of tricky, and I could tell the flow was not there, and I said, okay guys, let's just play a standard, and we played Solar, and it just was free, you could tell at the end there's just this vamp where, first of all, the first chord I always play major instead of minor, purposely, and it was cool. It was just a way for everybody to feel the pocket,
Jacky, one of the things that I love about not just how we are right now in the jazz world, we've kind of put the songbook aside, and everyone is now playing modern and contemporary music.
Yeah.
And you went and did Pharrell. You did Happy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now in a perfect world, I could see Stevie Wonder doing this. I could see Lee Oscar from War, and War would probably funk out that song. But you bring in Gregoire to do this song.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Actually, that was not my idea. That was my booking agent's idea. He was like, Jacky, you have to. It was an idea like that. He said, you have to do the most streamed song in the world, and it turns out to be Happy. And at first, I was kind of reluctant. I was like, why? I said, just try. And actually, we had a lot of fun doing that.
I can tell. I can tell.
We had a lot of fun, and it was 2 takes. I think we kept the first one, but because I'm happy. And I checked out the video maybe 100 times. That's such a great production.
Yeah. Tell me about the first time you met Gregoire.
Oh, that goes back 25 years ago, and I immediately noticed this guy's talent. The choice of notes he picks. I was like, wow, that's, you know, comes straight out from Stillman's and Bill Evans, and I invited him on a record like almost 3 decades ago, and we kept staying in touch. And now he's playing with Herbie, he's playing with Cassandra, he's playing with so many people.
So many people.
Yeah.
Jacky, you have been through what we call the trenches of the record industry.
Yeah.
You have been with Blue Note, Impulse, Universal, and now you are doing something that a lot of musicians are doing now with the way the industry's going. You started your own label and put it out yourself. How do you feel about that?
I feel like you don't really have a choice. I mean, because before, every label really had an identity that was really great. You know, Verve produced these kinds of records. What was it called? Atlantic. Blue Note, of course, had its own print, and with all the it happened not only in the music, but a lot of industries, all these merges, you know, and so it just felt like I was important at Blue Note, and then when they merged with Universal and then with Verve, and maybe I'm not getting the story quite right, but I know this is what happened. And then you feel like you're just a little fish in a super big tank, and before you were a little fish in a smaller tank or a bigger fish, or however you want to put it. But it didn't feel like it didn't feel right anymore. So I was like, let me just produce and try to find the funds to do it myself. And it's great. Plus, a lot of things happen, you know. Record stores with the jazz that don't exist, the way people listen to music. So you have to really do it yourself. So if you want to represent things fairly.
How do you feel now?
I feel great, man.
I know you do. I know you do. How do you feel now that there's this resurgence of vinyl now? Blue Note repressed a couple of your records.
Oh, really?
Yes, I believe the Cassandra Wilson record that you did, that's on vinyl now, and I think there's another print.
Cool. I didn't know that.
How do you feel about all this now?
Well, I think the vinyl thing is great. First of all, if the mastering and is done accordingly, because it's not the same for a CD and a vinyl. I think the sound is warmer in general, and I don't know, for some reason it's become the trend.
Wow.
You know, the vinyls. There's less music. There's 40 minutes maximum. On a CD you have an hour more.
Did you press this new album on vinyl?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I brought a ton of them on tour, but we sold out.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of your origins. I know that your mother had a very extensive jazz collection.
Yeah, my mom, she had a bunch of jazz records. It's kind of, it's a great story. My mom, before meeting my father, my mom was working with an interior designer who happened to redecorate Miles Davis's apartment for about 6 months or 8 months, and she told me she was there every day, and Miles was either playing or cooking, and there was always music going on, and she hit me to jazz music through the recordings that she had.
Classical is by means how you begin and how you interpret the music. When you came into jazz early, and I noticed at your live shows, you always incorporate a smidget of classical when you're playing.
Yeah. I would quote some things. Yeah. I started with classical, but I was not immediately, but kind of rapidly attracted to things that were not written. So, you know, but I still love classical music. I play it at home. I don't play it in public, but I still study it at home and try to you know, go through some Brahms, and I love Brahms, Chopin.
So
Love that stuff.
when you heard
Clavel,
okay. Yeah, okay.
Debussy,
Yeah.
you know, of course, yeah.
So if I'm a betting man, Keith Jarrett was high on your list of pianists.
Was in the top.
Why was
Top five.
why was Keith so important to you musically?
Because he's a fantastic pianist. You know, the question that was asked to me a lot of times is why jazz, why classical, and my first love is the piano before any style of music, and I feel like Keith loves the instrument, you know, because he does so many things. He extracts so many sounds and stuff out of it, and I was blown away by the everything he can do with it.
if I'm a betting man, Keith Jarrett was high on your list of pianists.
Was in the top. In the top.
Why was
Top five.
why was Keith so important to you musically?
Because he's a fantastic pianist. You know, the question that was asked to me a lot of times is why jazz, why classical, and my first love is the piano before any style of music, and I feel like Keith loves the instrument, you know, because he does so many things. He extracts so many sounds and stuff out of it, and I was blown away by the everything he can do with the.
Who were some of the pianists or jazz musicians that you were comping when you were learning and trying to master or still mastering the music?
Comping?
Yes.
Copying?
Yes.
Oh, Bud Powell, Bill Evans, The Longest Monk. Bud Powell, Bill Evans, The Longest Monk. That was like, and then later, Ahmad Jamal, later, and then Herbie, Keith, and then way later, Chick Corea, because at the beginning I was not hip to Chick, and then all of a sudden I realized how beautifully complex and creative his music was as a pianist, and rhythmically the stuff he does.
Yeah.
You know, because I couldn't put it together until I saw videos of how he played. It's very a lot of crosses. I don't know how to explain it. So Chick, who else? Of course, Ahmad Jamal, Lenny Tristiano.
You know, it's crazy. We're talking about these musicians. It's wild how the 60s, you had McCoy.
McCoy. I
Was,
forgot McCoy.
he was the pinnacle, like, in the early 60s.
Oh, I forgot Cedar Walton.
Cedar Walton, well, okay.
Cedar Walton. See, because the thing with Ahmad and Cedar, and I think I love them because they are really true orchestrators in terms of trio.
Right.
They make the trio sound like a big band.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of trios it was just okay, great bassist, great drummer, great pianist, but there was not that unity. And Cedar and Ahmad really got that together.
Yeah.
And of course, Herbie with Ron and Tony and many others. Bill Evans, some of Bill Evans' trios I really love. But even, you know, Bud Powell, who's one of my favorite pianists in the world, I feel like sometimes the trio is not really tight.
I kind of want to.
Kind of a
yeah, that's why. Well, no, it's not bold. You're 100% correct. I wanted to go back to with Coy in the 60s,
Yeah.
early 60s, and then you had Chick and Herbie underneath, and it's wild how the 60s turned into the 70s, and both of those pianists, they were bipolar opposites of each other, but they kind of did a lot of the same stuff.
Well, they did one or two great
The piano
dual
records,
pianos,
yeah.
piano records. And then Herbie amazingly was doing both the acoustic stuff and the pop, electronic stuff. That was very appealing and magical. And Chick too, actually.
Yeah.
Electric band
Yeah.
and the acoustic, yeah. I don't know, those guys are just geniuses.
right. How did their compositions and writing influence your writing?
It's not so much their compositions, it's more their style and their approach to the piano. Herbie is so able to lay something down, and it's like you're embraced you just embraced, and also actually for chick too, and they just like invite you into their world, and it's like, you know, sometimes it's like the warmest thing, and sometimes it's the most exciting thing, and, but it's really, and the harmonic approach, you know, Herbie, you could tell, loves classical music.
Yeah.
Chick too.
Yeah.
But we're only talking about pianists, but I also love Bobby McFerrin and Wayne Shorter.
Who doesn't?
And Betty Carter and Shirley Horn.
Yeah.
And
I want to talk about Betty.
yeah.
Betty produced your first record.
Betty produced Javon Jackson's first record,
but you were
and
on it.
I was on it.
You was on it, right?
I was on it, and
Right.
that's when Betty hired me.
Right.
Yeah, during that session. Yeah.
What was Betty like?
Incredible, man. The real shit.
Really?
Yeah, the real shit, and very demanding, but at the same time very free and open to letting anything happen.
Right.
You know, and I really, you know, because when I joined Betty's band, I was 26 or 27, and at that age, you just want to play fast and fast and faster and faster, and she took some tempos. I remember we used to play B natural, the standard, you go to my head, and her tempo was like, just like, sure, you're on. 1. Okay, you could go to Starbucks and get a coffee. 2, you know, it was so slow. But when you learn when you can master playing that slow, it made me progress a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, and I love Shirley Horn for the same reason. She had tempos that are incredible, you know. And it's very hard for a singer to do that as well. You know. But it was great because it's all about space, you know. It's funny how things come around, you know. Ahmad Jamal is all about space, you know.
Right. Gregoire, tell me the first time you met Jacky.
I met Jacky when I was still in college at the New School. He invited me to be part of his album What It Is at the time. And I played a couple songs on his album, and it was the very first time I had the honor to record on a major label. So it was a big deal for me. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Tell me what makes Jacky so different from a lot of his contemporaries as well as his piano contemporaries.
Well, there's a mix that's really beautiful with him, with like a real knowledge of tradition in terms of like, you know, there's obviously a connection with like Ahmad Jamal and the kind of trio, but it's also he has knowledge of, you know, the whole history of jazz, really, if you really pay attention, and it's quite special in that sense. And at the same time, he's uniquely himself. Like he's really the way he's like shaping the set and each song and arranging each song is really uniquely his skills and his talents that are doing that. So that's a mix of those, of both worlds, that I find to be really extraordinary with him.
I told Jacky that two of the standout tracks on the album are Happy, which you collaborate on, and tell me what that was like recording with him, because we leave the songbook and we enter the world of contemporary pop music for real, and you guys are bringing a very different vernacular to not only a pop song, but you're bringing it to the jazz world.
Excuse me. Yeah, but if you really pay attention to what people were doing back in the days, that's exactly the same thing. You know, like whenever you would listen to Duke Ellington or like people playing like Broadway songs, it was the songs that were really popular back then, and they were just rearranging them and having fun with them. So basically, that's what Jacky's doing here with like a pop song of today's repertoire, and he's making it his own. For me, it's really fun. I mean, it's always really a lot of fun for me to play with Jacky, whether it's like being in the studio recording or just playing live, because there's a lot of unexpected moments which I really embrace, and I know he does as well. So that's where we really meet and have a whole lot of fun. It's just kind of exploring and going in places that we're not sure exactly where it's going to go, but we're going to go somewhere and it's going to be special and beautiful.
had the honor of working with and for the great Bruce Lundvall.
Yes.
Blue Note.
Yes.
He and Michael Cascuna were very instrumental.
Beautiful guys. God bless them.
Yes, they were very instrumental in, one, resuscitating the Blue Note legacy, and two, making sure that the next generation of artists, which you came under, brought the music forward. What are your reflections of Michael and Bruce Lundvall?
Well, first of all, they were always together, and what I remember the most is before I signed for Blue Note, because the word was around. There's this half American, half French pianist who's playing, and there was a time where I had the Blue Note, Verve, Atlantic, and another label that wanted me to sign, and it just felt more at home with Blue Note and with Michael and Bruce. I'm not being condescending on the other labels, but they were just fun, and okay, that's the key. At the time I had this trio with Leon Parker and Ugonna Okegwo.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really starting to create a real nice buzz, and I was like, I want to record that. And Bruce was like, yeah, man. And the other labels already had maybe an idea for my first record, which was not that. And I was so I went with them. It ended up being lasting very long with lawyers and blah blah blah. Who says lawyers says money? And at one point I told the lawyer, I'll go with whoever buys me a Steinway piano. And that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's what I needed the most.
That's how you live.
Yeah, that's how I live. So Bruno,
They bought it.
they bought me a piano.
So Bruce,
And they let me do what I wanted to do.
Wow.
So that was great. And Bruce, I remember Bruce, and even in Italy on tour, I would see him, and he would come to shows. We would talk a lot after the concerts. He would tell me all these stories. He was a great guy.
Jacky, this is the last question I ask all musicians. This. Jacky Terrasson.
There was also Tom Everett. You know Tom Everett?
No.
Oh yeah, he was like Bruce's right arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were real record men.
Yeah.
The last of the record men.
Oh, I don't know. I hate to say that. No, actually, I heard this new guy Don. The guy.
Don was?
Yeah. I would love to meet him because I hear he's straight.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live here at the House of Swing, Jazz and Lincoln Center here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank the incomparable Jacky Terrasson as well as the great Grégoire Maret for their time. Make sure you support Jacky's current CD, Moving On, which is now available on iTunes, Amazon.com, as well as CD Baby. For more information on Jacky's upcoming tour dates or to order his album, visit him online at JackyTerrasson.com. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management at Dizzy's as well as Jazz at Lincoln Center for their warm hospitality. As always, people, I can't stress this more than enough. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos here on YouTube and Vimeo, as well as leave comments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.